Becoming a long-term substitute teacher can be a great opportunity for stability, higher pay, and gaining more experience within the classroom. Here is how to land and succeed in a long-term position. For number one is meet the requirements. Most schools now require a bachelor's degree, while others do require having your teaching license and going to school full-time to be a teacher. So make sure that you understand what their role is for that, role as an RULE, to becoming a building sub. Look into the school district, ask HR, or you can ask if you know the school district goes by an agency, you may ask the agency as well. Gain experience as a daily sub first. This is very crucial if you did not go to school for education and you come to school and they're like, hey, you did great. Do you want a long-term position? And that was like your first day and you were like, sure. Like, you need to know how the classroom works a little bit first before you pick a long-term sub. And we will get more into detail about that later. But first, just get your foot in the door. Work short-term. See what it's like to look at the lesson plans that the teachers had for you. See where you are. See what the students are like, the chemistry of the classrooms, what grade levels you even like. Like for me, I like middle school and high school. That's just my preference. But you might be someone who likes and loves kindergarten, and more power to you. You just need more coffee every single day. But that's your preference. And if you don't know that because you took a 6th grade position one day and then they ask you to be a long-term and you're like, so you start and you were like, oh my God, this is not what I didn't know I had a grade and do all these things. And then now you're hating it. So just try a short position first and then gain your way to a long-term position. Look for openings. Make sure that you check the website for them. They will post them. The district that I'm in, they post every Friday. Obviously not every Friday would they post a long-term position, but it would be like everything from the janitor to a long-term position to a contract position to a paraprofessional position. Like, they have everything. So make sure you know the days that they post new jobs, and then you can apply through there. And always get to know the principal. Introduce yourself to the principal, and then if you really want a long-term sub position, let them know that you are highly interested in it. That does not mean that you will get it, because they are going to be most likely a majority of schools interview for them. So unless you were like, they knew you and stuff, then you might not have an interview, but from a lot of the times they will interview. You building relationships with the students and staff. It's nice because you get to know the students, you get to know the staff, and you get to know their routines. You get to know the students' challenges and their strengths. You can connect with other teachers, mostly for support and resources, and they can really, really help you in your position. You're able to communicate with administrators so that they see you as a valuable member of their team. Be prepared for more responsibilities. This is the section I was talking about. Okay, so when you are a long-term sub, unlike day-to-day subbing, or short-term, and meaning short-term as in like you were there on a Wednesday and a Thursday. This is completely different. You are expected to create lesson plans, follow the district curriculum, especially the standards that they have. There are standards. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, you may Google it, but standards are basically teacher friendly, and they talk about what the students have to hit in order to move to the next grade level. So like for me in physical education, one of them was aiming. So by 2nd grade, student had to aim and throw a ball and hit an object. That's part of it. If you don't know what a standard is, please look it up, especially if you want to be a long-term sub. That way, you know how to hit the standards, especially if you interview. You're going to be grading assignments. That's crucial. You are going to be putting them in the grading grade book, which is usually on the computer. You're responsible then for attendance, of course. That's the same thing as a day-to-day sub, but more importantly, you would have to be doing it and putting it in the system versus like, okay, here's the kids who are absent, send it to the office. Like, you will actually be in a system. You will be communicating with parents. That's hard. AF. They can be mean. They can be supportive. You don't know what you're going to get. But that is what a long-term sub will be doing. You may even be required to attend meetings, IEP meetings, staff meetings, and following guidelines. So that is why it is completely different from a day-to-day sub, because you are doing what the teacher would be doing if they were there. In a long-term position, it's so important that you stay organized and flexible. Make sure you are keeping track of the lesson plans. Sometimes the teachers, like especially a woman teacher, a teacher who just had a baby, usually takes the time before they go on maternity leave. They will leave lesson plans for you. Not all the time, do they? Or it could be a situation where there was a teacher and they quit and then they like didn't have anyone. So you might not have lesson plans. That's something to ask. Anyways, for this section, keeping organized, make sure you organize the lesson plans. Make sure you know what you're doing each day. You have deadlines for sure, especially with grading. You better know the school policies. School policies for everything, for cell phones, for bullying, for when to turn lesson plans in to the principal, etc. And make sure that you are being open to feedback, whether it is from students, parents, teachers, and administration, to improve your teaching. Now, parents, they can be mean. They're not really there to help you improve, but they will be getting you in check. Did you not read my child's IEP? Did you not do this? I sent you this email. And you're just going to sit there like, oh my gosh. Parents can be like the worst, but make sure that you just have tough skin for that. I was also a long-term sub a couple times and I absolutely enjoyed it. What I loved about it was the consistency, going to the same school every day, going to the same classroom every day, knowing that I had the same students every day. I loved kind of like being in the know. I loved being like, oh, like I didn't know, like there are some things that you wouldn't know as a day-to-day sub that you would as a long-term sub. Not that I was like nebby or anything. I'm from Pittsburgh. That just means that I was like snooping around and like, oh, I like to know all the details. But when you need to know a detail about a child and you see like, oh, that's why they're acting that way, it's like, oh. I think the hardest part was grading. You had questions. I had questions all the time for like, okay, like how do I grade this in a certain situation? Or it was a special ed kid. How do I grade them? Oh, they're pass and fail. Okay, good to know. And it's also just really nice to just be yourself as a teacher versus coming in and feeling stiff and being like, don't do that or whatever. And just you have your own way of disciplining or managing the classroom, and that's absolutely fantastic. As I really hope that this helped you decide if you want to be a long-term substitute teacher. I will link this video right here for you, and I'll see you over there.